आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। जिनके लिए है तूने महल सजाए, जिनके लिए है तूने महल सजाए, मतलब के यार सारी सभी है परारे, इन्हीं के लिए है तूने महल सजाए, मतलब के यार सारी सभी है परारे, इन्हीं के लिए है कितना तूने दुख झेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। हर की शरण खू हो जा, ध्यान लगा ले, जीवन में लेना फिर ये इनके लिए, जिनके लिए हरि की शरण खू हो जा, ध्यान लगा ले। इन्हीं के लिए है कितना तूने दुख झेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। ये जिंदगी है प्यारी, एक झूठ सपना, गैरों के दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना, सबकी रहती होई मैं हूँ अकेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। Sorry about that. Someone was touched me as they went by to say hello and was distracted. Sorry about that. But it's a very powerful song, isn't it? That in this life, the song is saying that we have just a few days to accomplish a very important task, to go back to that godlike state, nay, to become gods and goddesses, to become to that place of consciousness. And what I mean by that, if we will look at the word Om, and when we chant Om, there are 4 components to Om. Om, when you take that deep breath, Ah, Om, Ma. The first Om, the first Ah, would be for the waking state, like here we are now, we are awake, and we're walking around, and our 5 senses are operating, and organs of actions are operating, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and tasting. These senses are picking up the from the objects outside, earth, water, fire, air, and space, and they're corresponding. For instance, when we look at the light, the eyes are receiving light. When we look at the water, we drink the water, taste comes in because water is in the mouth in form of saliva. When we hear, it goes to our ear, and space is receiving it, and they are so like that. And then when we the air is blowing next to our skin, the skin is the organs of touch, and the touch will carry it into the brain. And these 5 senses and 5 corresponding 5 elements make up our mind. We respond to that, we react to the environment with the 5 organs of action. Here, mouth, hands, legs, organs of action, and organs of elimination. So we are in the waking state now, okay? Now if we go and we go into the sleeping state, we will go to sleep tonight or during the day if we sleep, and then what happens? Dreams will come. We are in a sleeping state and dreams will come. In that state also, that is represented by the word U. A is first one, U is for the sleeping, the dreaming, and the Ma is for the when we have no sleep, deep sleep, When we have no dreams, rather, but we're having a deep sleep. But then the fourth one is the silence after the Om, and that is consciousness. And that is where we have to get to. Silence is the language of God. Silence is awareness. Silence is consciousness. Silence of knowing that we are the material cause and the efficient cause. We are everything. And when you come to that silence, that is God realization. And when you can hold that silence for an extended period of time, then you know you're realized souls. This is how we know how one realized soul is. And this morning, a lot of people walking. And when these things are operative, and we know how to do it. So we'll be chanting Om, and listen, like we're seeing everything outside there, right? And everything that is outside is inside of me. Because if I open my eyes, I'll see and hear and touch and smell and feel. I'll hear the birds chirping. I'll see the light, the water in front of me, and all that is happening. People walking around, they're talking, and they're like that. So everything that is outside as I walk, if I close my eyes, they will become me. Like for instance, if I want to go to Nepal in this moment of time, and I tried it so many times in my trips to India and Nepal, Kolkata, wherever I go, and if I were to close my eyes now and imagine I just come off the taxi and walking into the driveway to the ashram in Kolkata, our head office, I could see and remember everything, not remembering, but it's like I'm there. And you walk into the mandir and you sit down. I feel like I'm there, walk into the room of Swami Parameshananda, where he would have spent all his life and his last moment. That room is so vibration, I feel the vibration. Same thing, if I were to go into Nepal, coming off the plane, take my baggage, take a taxi, go walk in the ashram, I know every step of the way. And I'll go and put my bag down in front of the door, the room that is there I use next to the mandir. Go to the mandir and bow. I'll see the altar and the whole mandir, and then walk around and look at the ashram. As I speak, if I tried it many times, it's the same experience that I have, like I'm telling you right now. So we have this power of creating an awareness in us. It's called awareness. And that awareness is so powerful. So we all have that. Imagine, expand that awareness to everything that happened in our lives, from conception on to this point in time. And then you project what a little one will happen to you further down the road throughout the rest of your life. And then imagine now the previous lives. All those experiences are coming with us, and go back onto the point where we were without name and form. And this is how we get to be godlike. And the Bhajan is saying, in this lifetime, let us all come to that realization. And it's so important that when we have a spiritual master like Swami Parameshananda Maharaj, that he will help us with our human effort, to elevate ourselves. And everyone, parents and children, we should all take on responsibility to develop our lives, materially, academically, and spiritually. I was doing a function for a very rich man, and his son and daughter-in-law, they were doing the function. And they were all the rest. He had a daughter and his son-in-law, and the children were there, and other in-laws, close people. And I asked him to speak after we did the Hawan and my short talk, and then we did the arti. I asked him to many people speak, but specifically, he was speaking, and what he was saying, that although he has this money, it is not to be given away just like that. Like I can remember in America, many people would have won the lottery, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and within a short time they become bankrupt and corrupted other people's life. But he was saying that if a child doesn't know how the money comes, then he will just spend it and thinking, oh, this is what it's all about. And here I just wanted to show you. Here is Vishnu Bhagwan in the form of turtle. There's a big turtle in here, and these are the babies that were made. Oh my God, isn't this so good? This is an incarnation of Vishnu Bhagwan when he would have carried the mountain on his back. Oh, they're going. Carry the mountain on his back, and the asuras and the gods were churning it, and then what came out? The poison, and then nectar, and that poison was drank by Lord Shiva, and that's why we call it Nilkant, otherwise it would destroy all of creation. And the nectar was taken by the gods, and they flew those days. They could fly, and they flew and they went, and they dropped one drop in the 4 places of Kumbh Mela: Allahabad, Nasik, Ujjain, and Haridwar. Anyway, this is the turtle. I want to bring that to you. There we're looking at Vishnu Bhagwan. Anyway, the rich man was saying, he understood that, look, I'll give you, manage my money. This is your inheritance. But you have to prove that you can take on this responsibility. Otherwise, then I have to think, otherwise, how could safeguard all of this so all of society can gain from him? So this is how we have to do in Guyana. We're doing the same thing, that when we're looking, that, you know, as a Swamiji, we have to take responsibility, because the world is looking at Swamiji's holy men from the head to the toe. And if we do not set an example, then what happened? Then the world will fall apart. That's why Swami Parameshananda would have said that, you know, to the monks, that you represent me, that when you go, the world will see you, so see me in you. So this way, Swamiji's, that's why, you know, whatever someone make criticism, we have to respond to it. There was one time I was doing a yajna, and this young lady, the young girl, she was like 12 years old, and she's so smart. She came to me after, and she said, Swamiji, oh my God, your lecture was so powerful. Oh yeah, what did I say? And she repeated everything so nicely. But Swamiji, there's something I want to tell you. What? And she says, you know, did you know your cloth didn't match up? Your dhoti and your kurta is not the same color. So I said, uh-huh. And he said, Swamiji, that didn't look too good, because I was distracted a little by it. And he says, you know, she said, continue, say, and Swamiji, you shaved, no? And you didn't go to shave your head. There's still spots on your head. There's some hair there. And I'm saying, oh my God, I stay quiet. And then I came to the realization that whatever the public, we have to live up to the public. A little girl is saying that, and it's time for me to make a change. From then on, I paid attention. Let my clothes be ironed. They don't have to be new, but let it be ironed, and the hair must be cleanly, nicely shaved, the head. And this way, we have to make adjustment, because we want policemen like devotees to tell us what we're doing wrong. And when somebody tells you what you're doing wrong, don't think that you want to fight back and you want to insult them. That think quietly, that when you hear with these 2 ears, these are the kinds of things that you have to make adjustment to. I can remember one time in Kolkata, we doing collection, and I just came down from the 4th floor of the building, Kolkata, after hitting many doors. And the last collection was 10 rupees. And then I came down, I was so thirsty after 4 hours of collection, and I saw a person selling water coconut there, and the water coconut was 10 rupees. So I have my own money coming from America. I carry money, you know, I always keep in a separate pocket. So I pushed my hand, took my money, and paid. I was about to pay for the coconut, 10 rupees. And the Swamiji came, Sauravan and Swamiji came, and he was so angry. He grabbed the coconut from me, and And I said, and I was surprised, what's going on here? Then he said, look, who is looking through that window there? Isn't that, how much rupees that lady give you? I said, Swamiji, 10 rupees. Then he said, then I said, but Swamiji, I'm using my money. He says, does the lady knows that? That she will think, oh, why can't you have asked for a glass of water instead of taking her money and buy a water coconut? That is the message, that we have to set examples as leaders in society, that whenever a criticism is coming towards us, it is time to remove that criticism. They might not be truth, but whatever the accusations are, we should make all steps to cure ourselves of that. That should go to everybody else, you and every person. As parents, we have parents, mothers and fathers, they have to be very keen and understand this principle, that you talk to your children, but the biggest lesson is your actions. There was one time a man came into his house and he's smelling marijuana. It's a practical story. And his smelling nose took him to the bathroom, and then he knocked on the door, and then the son was in there, and he got mad. The father was banging on the door, and the son he says, you come out here, and he was mad. He ready to beat the child. So before the son came out, who's teaching you? Where you got this from? And the son said, Dad, I learned it from you. You know, this is how we have to set examples, not just by talking. Talking is not good enough. Many preachers, they can, you know, I'm not a preacher, I'm an inspirational speaker. And preachers of Ramayana and our scriptures, Bhagavatam, they can expound it so good, but do they live up to the life? Then all the preaching is gone to waste. Transformation cannot take place, but a person, an incarnation like Swami Parameshananda and the Krishna Bhagwan, they live the life. They walk the talk. Their lives are what they think and what they speak and what they do is in harmony. And if that is not in harmony, then what happens? Life becomes a waste. That you will go through this life, the 4 days that you will have, that you would have wasted it. Aaye bhi akela, jaaye bhi akela, do din ki zindagi hai, do din ka mela. Do din ki zindagi hai, do din ka mela. Utilize this life, this precious life, where we are higher than the animals, that we have that other intelligence, where instead of reacting, we respond. Reacting is for the mind, responding is for the intelligence. And then when we make this effort, God will give us His grace. Human effort and God's grace are the greatest combination for liberation. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om.
Let me start as a share.